Necropolis entrance. Hmm. Near view. Oh. An enormous cavern yawns beyond the platform. Seemingly infinite number of honeycombed rooms stretch out past where you can see. Narv the Blessed. I suppose I should be thankful. So thanks. Tell me about yourself. I'm an explorer and a villain. Worst villain you will ever meet. And by that I mean that no matter what I try to pull, somehow ends up helping people. He spits. Blessed indeed. Okay. How did you get here? He leans forward and talks to you in low tones. It was all Utwak's fault. God's damn do-gooder can't help himself. We're on a quest, he calls it, for this fabled string or whatever. I figure it's my chance to off him once and for all. We come across this enormous broken hound, so I tossed a few rocks at it to get its attention. Well, Utwak wouldn't fight it or run, no. He calmed it down and left it alone. So I tried a second time, shoving Utwak down a mountainside when he got too close. As luck would have it, I lost my balance and fell down with him. Of course, idiot Jenkins follows up to us to help. He puffs out a blast of air. That's how we got to this valley. When these memorialists asked for our help, we all saw an opportunity. Jenkins to help, Utwak to grow on his path or whatever, and me to finally do Utwak in. He shakes his head sadly. And those cultists caught us before I could try anything. I tell you, nothing ever goes my way. Tell me about your companions. The red-headed fellow, he's Utwak Laws. In a hushed tone he adds, I've been trying to kill him for about 12 years now. He leans back and indicates the smooth-faced man. The young pup there is Jenkins the Jinx. He'll want to help you. Don't let him. He leers at the young man, who smiles back at him with as if he just said the nicest thing. Right. Utwak Laws. Thanks for your help, friend. We might have made it, but I'm glad we didn't have to take the chance. Tell me about yourself. He straightens, though it's clear the effort pains him. I'm an explorer and do-gooder, self-proclaimed. For some reason he smirks at the stout man next to him when he says this. I've been all over the world, had every occupation and hardship you could imagine. Why, I even had my luck stolen from me. And do you know what I learned in all that? He leans forward. You can do anything if you work for it. Anything. How did you get here? He leans forward conspiratorially. Let me tell you. We left the oasis some weeks ago, tracking a tale of deceit and fabled Numenera. We were hired to find something called a world string, a tiny contraption that can spin a web so fine it's all but invisible, but so strong it can slice the world in two if someone had the means and the mind for it. I have no idea if it actually exists, but that's how it all started. Well, there we were, out in the Bergsulian waste, when we happened across a broken hound the size of a griffalo. Something had irritated it, so we decided to seek shelter and wait for nightfall to see if it might not range a little further from the route we wanted to take. I was looking for just such a place when something slammed into me and knocked me down into this valley. Narb and Jenkins followed, of course. We ran into those fine memorialists in a bit of trouble. Now, I'm never one to turn down a challenge or people in need. It's almost a curse, you might say. So, of course, we agreed to help them lock the Necropolis. After that, well, you can see what happened after that. Tell me about your companions. He tilts his head toward the rat-like man near him. That's Narb the Blessed. Meanest bastard this world has seen, except that he keeps messing it up somehow. That's the brush you're painting me with, huh? Woodward gestures with his head to the earnest-looking man with a smile. And that's Jenkins the Jinx. Always around to help, especially when you don't need it. Did you say something, boss? No, friend. Or at least there's nothing you don't already know about. Okay. I almost didn't think I was going to make it out there alive. You are a saint in human flesh. So who are you? I'm Jenkins the Jinx. He wrinkles his nose. It wasn't my first choice of name, believe me, but I didn't really mind it anymore. It's kind of apt. He looks you over, then shuffles forward a little, leaning closer. You see, I really like to help people, but I have a habit of getting lost, he says in what he clearly thinks is a whisper. I'll camp down for the night with my party, but by morning they're all gone. He stares up at you in wide-eyed wonderment. It's a terrible curse, really it is. He kicks at the floor and sighs. Udwak and Nar are the only people I never lost, he says morosely. Not for lack of trying. Don't worry, Nar. I'll never try to lose you. How did you get here? Well, we came across the wastes, he says pensively. The Verxulian waste, of course, not the Tempest waste. He laughs lightly as if at his own joke. Then Nar pushes Udwak down a sand dune and he tumbled into this gravestone valley. Almost broke his neck. Glad he didn't, though. Then he pauses, searching his memory. We ran into these memorialists who asked for our help. They wanted to lock the Necropolis from these cultists. Of course I said yes, but well, we weren't so lucky. But at least we kept them out. Who are your companions? The red-haired one is Udwak Los, our leader. He's been all over the world, you know. He's famous. Jenkins gives you a nod, his face serious, as if to impress upon you the gravity of the situation. The other fellow is Narp. He tries to hurt people, but it never turns out right. What? Narp's eyes widen and he looks around worriedly. I don't hurt people. Jenkins smiles and leans in toward you. I like him. Okay. Not much that I could get out of them. Alira Kyo. Nothing new.
I'm going.
I don't recall where we want to go, but we don't want to go into the first tomb or where the portal is. We need to go in everywhere else. 5143. Locations you already know. First, Castoff's tomb and the Endless Gate. Those are the things we need to avoid. Choice tomb. 4221. Right, just need to make a marker that I've actually visited there. When the fourth hexagon illuminates, a field of energy forms around you. Tight, sucking sensation pulls at your gut, then suddenly you are somewhere else. I wonder if you could go through all these tombs, one by one by one by one. I have zero interest in doing that. I'm just wondering what the consequence would be.
I'm going.
As you approach the rock pillar of the tomb, you feel subtle variations in the air temperature and pressure around you. Tiny gusts and zephyrs push your eyes towards specific striations in the stone. Allow the wind to guide your eyes.
I'll remember that.
Remembering what you were told, you hold your breath. The gentle breezes control the flickering of your eyes toward unpredictable places on the wall. and the patterns and purpose of the gods quickly become clear. They have been training your eyes to see, and suddenly the truth comes clear in twisting letters made from distortions in the air itself. They're in an older version of the truth, but you can read them. It's an epitaph, and it bears the name Choi Kai-sul. Kai-sul, that was the surname of the memorialist you met when you entered the valley, Kronos Kai-sul. The wind has not stopped. Its subtle pressures are trying to guide you to new patterns. Follow the wind's guidance. Words appear in the air, shivered into being by subtle gusts, and you read the tale. Come you now to the tomb of Choi Kai-sul. It stands empty, for her body is gone, wrested away by the foul children to feed their endless gain, and its infernal master. We raise this marker to commemorate the life of our beloved, to swear undying vengeance upon the man who stole her from us. Choi Kai-sul, your name will live forever. The shapes hover in the air a moment longer, and then the air ceases its restless flight. The letters disappear instantly, and all that remains is the sound of your breathing. Okay, can I allow them to... I need to talk to the memorialist outside. Honor remains... okay. Wow, perfect adventure. I think...
Fine.
Seasons roll... the journalist, blah 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 blah. Chevron Duda plates. I'm pretty sure these epitaphs are the backers of the game. That's why there's so many tombs. I don't think most of them serve any real purpose, other than just show the names. I don't know though.
Of course we can help. Right, Al?
I suppose I could go take a look at a few random tombs, see if there something of interest pops up. But not now. Ask about Choi's surname, Kai-sul, right?
Yes. Now.
One thing at a time. The central button, I think, returned us to the start. I found a tomb below for a girl named Choi Kai-sul. Do you know anything about her? Kai-sul? Well, I don't know anything about her, but you might ask my colleague, Kronos Kai-sul. He should be in the valley somewhere. The cultists haven't killed him, that is.
Fair enough.
Here comes the Boredom Slayer.
This memorial is springy to the touch, but impossible to damage. You can make out only diffused shadows beyond it.
Of course.
Was this here before? I don't think so.
Yes. Now.
The floating darkness before you looks a little like the dying minim you saw earlier, only this one is even more close. It is furled tight like a black unblossomed rose, as if it was looking for something to bring it to life. You have a sudden gag reflex. Something lurches in your chest. Something inside your body is reacting to the minim, trying to get out. Examine the tear in space. The more you look at the minim, the more it seems to you like an unpollinated flower. It is dormant and looking for something to bring it to life, but what? Wonder if I can go into it. It was very risky the first time, and that was a proper rip that was dying out. Step closer. Expel whatever is trying to get out of your body. As soon as you open your mouth, a slick black cloud surges out, emptying your lungs of air almost completely. It's the black flecks from the dying minim, but they changed somehow inside your body. Cloud flows towards the minim. Where it touches, the minim becomes more diffuse, less a clot and more a cloud, expanding, unfurling, until its dark center is revealed, and with that center a pulsing red light and a welcoming warmth that carries with it the echoes of sounds you are not hearing around you. 2 points of might pool damage. If the black sludge continues to spew from your lungs, you are unable to control it, retching out more and more until finally, when it feels as though you are going to pass out, the last of slips past your tongue. You feel weaker, but at least it's out of your body now. Walk through the space.
Why, of course.
Well, we didn't need it to come here anyway. Have you taken care of the cultists? The longer it takes, the more I fear for all of us. I'm sorry, I shouldn't rush you. How can I help? I found a tomb for a girl named Choi Kai-sul. Is she any relation to you? Choi Kai-sul? How interesting. No, sadly, I've never heard the name. I took my name not from Choi's marker, but from the hero I was in my true life, Ronos Kai-sul. Here, let me give you the code to that tomb, so that you can visit it yourself. He clears his throat. Maybe Choi's name is in the histories, if you can access them, that is.
Making a note.
2413. Interesting.
I'm going. I'm going. All right.
What is histories? Access
if you're sure
histories.
it's safe.
Can I ask about it?
Here comes the Boredom Slayer.
Yeah, Boredom Slayer. About Halira about it. No.
Yes.
2413. Some kind of a hero.
Yes.
As you touch the engravings on the epitaph, you feel familiar stirrings of air pushing your eyes toward the imperfections on the surface. As with Joy's tomb, the glyphs of the truth curl into shape as distortions of the air and form themselves into the name of the deceased, Ronos Kai-sul. More words begin to form, taking shape like clear smoke. Examine archives, display likenesses, leave. Examine archives. A whisper of wind tickles your ear. Protection of archives enables. Speak the code and read freely. You remember the words of choice marker. Your name will live forever. And so you whisper that name, Joy. It works. Reams of potential information begin spilling into the air, hidden behind these words. History of Ronos Kaisul, experiments, bequests, genealogy, leave, history. Lighted images appear on the currents of air, subtly distorted, and they show the progression of Ronos Kaisul's life. A voice, slightly modulated through the wind, speaks. Ronos Kaisul was born Ronos Genuine, an only child in a successful merchant family of Sagas Cliffs. His parents sought for him a position within the bureaucracy. He showed an early aptitude for the gentlemanly pursuits of governing, weaponcraft, and poisons. His interests took him elsewhere. Gentlemanly pursuits of governing poisons. Right. He became fascinated by the secrets of the ancients and experimented with their lost knowledge, under the tutelage of Aeon priests. As one of their number, he sought the secrets of life and established himself in the field of medicine, focusing particularly on those damaged by the Numenera. He married Rinda Kaisul, taking her name for himself and their family. They had a daughter named Joy. She was the new center of Ronos' life until the children of the Endless Gate abducted and murdered her. Ronos vowed to avenge Joy's death and destroy the cult. This vendetta consumed him. Options now include a return to the main tree, where you can hear and read about his experiments, or you can continue with Ronos Kaisul's vendetta against the children of the Endless Gate. Continue about the vendetta. With the loss of his daughter, Kaisul resigned from the Aeon Priests and turned his full attention to destroying the cult. By then, they had moved on, leaving him with no object for his revenge. Voice flatly knows. Rinda Kaisul took her own life. Ronos redoubled his efforts, sold all that he possessed, and devoted himself to finding the children. In time, he hired an explorer named Markaisa to assist in that pursuit. Neither returned. Years after disappearing, Kaisul sent a letter to his oldest mentor. The voice quaked slightly. In it, Kaisul explained that he had found the children and their leader Inifir. He wrote, Inifir and the others are victims, not monsters. They are prisoners of pain, and Inifir is a slave to dark masters beyond our plane. Rather than seek vengeance, I will endeavor to set them free. Okay. The children of the Endless Gate, when they fought, they had a ability called Possession that they used. Yeah, that's how they fought. They lowered their own defenses continually, like with having no regard to their own safety, and increased the damage and threat they posed. I didn't really think about it at the time at all. I just thought it was some kind of a magical ability.
I'll remember that.
Some months later, Kaisul's body was transmitted to the mentor as well. And many years after that, the body of his guide, Markaisa, was deposited in the Valley of Dead Heroes. Thus ends the story of Ronos Kaisul, entombed herein. His wife, Rinda Kaisul, is interred in her family's ossuary in Sagas Cliffs. The marker of his daughter, Joy Kaisul, can be found at 4221. Markaisa's tomb lies at 1254. I actually have the 1254 already. I don't recall where I got it. Voice crackles to a halt and the main menus return. Impossible. The code to Markaisa's tomb is the same as that of the Endless Gate. Yeah, why is that? Experiments. Experiments included vivisection and necrosection on a variety of creatures across the Protectorate biome. These led to investigations into cross-dimensional manifestations and psychosis, a field of study Kaisul abandoned upon the death of his daughter. A formal list of scientific citation follows. Bequests. A subdued male voice speak. While Scholar Kaisul liquidated the overwhelming majority of his estate shortly before his disappearance, certain family trusts and ongoing honoraria and royalties remained. These were assigned to the Aeon priests of Sagus Cliffs until confirmation of Kaisul's death. At that time, his remaining properties escheated to the city. A list of financial instruments and revenue sources scroll across the screen. Genealogy. Scholar Kaisul Ne Genvin conducted extensive research into his background. He has uncovered trace evidence that he is distantly related to the slave families, though further research suggests that his particular branch was excised 150 years prior to his birth. He married Rinda Kaisul and they produced one daughter named Joy. She perished with her passing. Both the Kaisul and Genvin lines vanished.
I'm going.
Our last breaths in this tomb, at last we are free. Our two hearts afloat in rivers of time, finally beyond this reality. Our two souls released, like birds they fly away, finally together for all eternity. John, Francois, and Elodie.
I'm going.
It was tough being me. Chance Tarkov.
Let's go.
Right. Other things we need to use. Locations we already know. Endless Gate and Markaza. Try the number that was in the dead memorialist's note with the name Najima.
All right.
Zeher el-Shami. Kenneth Holm Tronrod.
Ready.
Eliandri. Rick Arnold.
Ready.
Adam Darby. His fight came to an abrupt end with the realization that truth is irrelevant. Truth is irrelevant. All that matters in society is belief. Those that see the truth outside accepted beliefs can suffer in silence or cry out in futility one last time before they disappear. Peter the Wonder Goth, right?
Yes. Now.
There's something tucked behind this marker. You struggle to wrench it free. As soon as you do, you realize, through an odd twist in your gut more than anything else, that this is some cast-off's Mirrorcaster. These flowers are complex arrays of circuitry, each petal covered in carefully laid copper wires. Filaments run from the petals into a ruddy strong glass sheet, ending in a now-dead diode. The entire device pulses with inner heat, so this is a text adventure basically. Beautiful, beautiful Najima, a casualty of war that she had nothing to do with.
Coming.
I still have at least two codes that I don't know what they actually are. I have one for the gate, one for the first cast off, and then two others. I just don't recall what the first cast off code is, out of these is gonna be. So 3431. Looks like a specialty place. Yeah, this is probably the first cast off then. One 535.
Ready.
This is the Phoenix one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the first one was given to us by Matkina. So this should be Phoenix. The arcane humanoid shimmers and displaces across multiple versions of itself in a blink. So quick is the motion that you almost doubt your senses. Black-clad being makes slow, deliberate movements, its eyes like dull grey jewels set into an expressionless face. You sense a malevolence cage. Its voice is deep and rich. I am Silver. You are a fellow seeker, yes? Tantalum has sent me to learn the secrets of the valley. I can smell the desire on your skin, but not the success. I have explored many of them and learned many things. Tantalum has said I will find secrets here. He is correct. Keep up the search and your desires will see a reward. What are you? I am Acolyte, a seeker of knowledge, a devourer of artifacts, a stumbler on the paths of truth. His eyes shine. An answer for the unanswerable. Yeah. What have you found in these tombs? His strange face shifts through a variety of shapes. Truths of the old worlds reveal themselves to me. Secrets of time and reality, and shifting of particles smaller than perception allows, undergird all. But they are not a part of my truth. So you believe Tantalum? Certainly. All of humanity's wisdom and even much that is not of humanity lies buried in this necropolis. It is only a matter of time and effort before one finds answers. Okay.
I'm ready. Making a note.
His nearly human face has been sculpted to look like it is emerging from the stone floor. As you draw near, the mouth suddenly begins to move. It speaks in an unfamiliar tongue, and you feel a light touch across your mind. The face continues speaking, adjusting pitch and vibration of its words as it zeroes in on a shared language. The jumble of noise becomes recognizable speech quickly, and the face becomes more human. You recognize the face. It is that of Phoenix, the enigmatic man in the valley. The voice is surprisingly pleasant and warm. I am Phoenix, seeker of knowledge, lover of wisdom, questioner of the truth. I found ways to bend space and fold reality, but it was not enough to keep death from my door. If you are hearing this message, I am missing a part of my consciousness. I have communicated with it and feel its presence nearby, but it does not return. Voice fades, taking with it the memory of the language it spoke. So we've
Don't mind.
solved that little thing. How high the highest candle lights the dark. David Barlocan.
Yes. Now.
In honor of nearly 100,000 souls who have willingly and bravely to this world, who gave willingly and bravely to this world, it's a monument carved from their torment, from their dreams to yours. Believers and
Of course.
learn more about Markaisa. How? But it's where the gate is. Tell Phoenix I found this too. Right. That's Phoenix, right? I still have one. 5143.
Yes.
That's something I don't know what it is. Oddworld the same. A frail humanoid creature with olive skin, clad in rags wrapped around its waist, rummages about aimlessly, fidgeting with elongated hands. Scattered and frizzy dark strands on its scalp appear to be hair. As you approach, he rears his head, revealing large yellow eyes with tiny black dots that stare back at you gleefully. His smile, wide for a creature of his size, shows a perfect set of teeth as his head moves inquisitively from side to side. "You stand in Oddwall's mind," he proclaims. What can you tell me about yourself?" "I, my friend, I'm Oddwald. Oddwald the Sane. Oddwald the Magnificent. Oddwald the true seer and keeper of the past. The one who knows. The one who remembers. The one who hides and the one who laughs." He pushes some of his gewgaws around on the floor, creating an intricate pattern, or perhaps just a mess. "They said I was mad, carcass. My mind a melded machine. Where did they come in to see? I did not open the eyes to let them taste the colors of my thoughts, but they swept the knowledge into me and out of me, and all that's left is dust." He drums an arrhythmic pattern into the dust of the tomb's floor. After a moment, he scatters his assembled junk with a swipe of one hand. The pieces fly randomly, but each lands during one of the beats, and they land in a straight line. He gathers the pieces. "Insight, foreknowledge, intuition, a predator's mind trapped in the prey's body. See the puzzle fit together, and find the nearest bolt hole." What are you doing here? Doing? All of the myriad delights of life lie before me. Breathing, heart beating, observing, digesting, expressing, micturating, pontificating, answering, ruminating. It is a good time to be alive. To be alive. He shoves a piece of his junk. "Say I am discovered myself, and the world, and the hidden parts of the universe. Listen, these tombs, I know them. They sing to me. They're new children, the children and their gate. I know of them. I even know the fearful Inipir. They are not secrets, though they are secretive. Look around you. You see the walls? I see the history, the past, the future, the potential. I line up probabilities and then I push them around until they are true. And when I understand the patterns, I retain the patterns, so what am I doing here? Learning." He gathers up his junk again. "What can you tell me about the children of the Endless Gate?" He lowers his head and smiles. "They know me. I know them, and when they come with ill intent, when they come as friends, I greet them warmly and keep an open otherwhere at my back. When they come as enemies, they cannot find me. These doors to the other worlds, I have opened them. One brought me here. One opened my mind and spilled my thoughts out. One told me to put my thoughts back in. He hefts a handful of small bones. You don't know where he found them. He casts them on the floor and laughs to himself and scoops them back up. So strange to think of a mind as a place to store thoughts. Only by custom, only by memory. Much better to find a place for your thoughts in the world. He pauses and thinks, of course, then you have to worry about someone stealing your thoughts. Can you tell me anything useful about the children of the Endless Gate? Theirs is a door that might best be closed, but the opening comes to you unless... But none close it. Your brothers see but don't act. They speak but never listen. The opening is an opening. I have places to go, places to hide. Those here, they're stuck in one perception. Okay. What do you know about Inifir? Who knows a sibling better than a brother? Who has forgotten the face of his father but remembers his acts? Who has seen a broken mind turned into a vengeful thing? He has no taste for blood nor for flesh, but his children bring him these morsels anyway. They do not heed his advice. They call him Lord, but he is their slave. Poor Inifir, a life misremembered, misinterpreted. He regards his junk pile, a life wasted in fear. Can you tell me anything else about Inifir? He does not hunger for blood. He hides because of his... He pauses and looks through the bits scattered in front of him. Sorrow. Do not be like him. Do not hide. Can you tell me anything about Choi Kai-sul? Everything. She is dead. She was killed. She was avenged or not avenged. Who can tell? He catches the expression on your face. Nothing you don't already know, I see. Why did you ask, then? Anything else about Inifir? Farewell. Oh, fare? Oh no, I fare nowhere.
Yes. Now.
Zemash Trebere.
Yes.
Lukma, no hands. Min Liang Tan.
On it.
As you poke through the supplies Oswald house, do I put my fingers in your brain? Leave it alone, now. Okay, leave it alone. He breathes a sigh of relief. Gratitude is hard to find here. I would hate for you to have stolen mine. You might want to go rummaging in there at some point.
I'm ready.
Learn more about Markaisa. We could report Phoenix thing. I think we have to go to this tomb, the 1254. Not to deal with the cultists, but
Yes.
learn more. Yeah, blood on the walls, not encouraging.
remember that.
You can see the whites all around this man's eyes. His face is frozen in a rictus of frenzy. Can you feel it? The power of the Endless Gate. It calls to us. It is time. I'm going to refrain from attacking because I have a very good reason to believe that someone is basically possessing them. Where is Lord Inifir? Already there, already begun. Our Lord and Master is at the center of it all. Before he can utter another word, the man's spine goes taut. His expression becomes that of a towel being savagely wrung out. His voice stays drenched in childless glee. They call us now. Right. Most of these paths can be opened in one side. Several contain humans, many of them Sagi's citizens by their clothing. Where the blood does not obscure it, vaguely humanoid shadows lie within these paths.
Yes.
The children of the Endless Gate seem to have paid special attention to this tomb. Their scroll covers it in bloody smears and gobbets. What little you can read seems to offer praise to the dead woman and to whatever it is the children worship. Beneath this desecration, however, is an old carved inscription. She stood watch between hope and horror and died, beloved, on her feet, in service of we who suffer. It is signed Inifir. Look more closely at the children's writing. Incomprehensible scratches and scrolls, all of them, and you can't make sense of them, yet somehow they fill you a vague and nameless horror. Amidst the bloody rants and paeans, you find a symbol carved into the stone itself. You recognize it as the sigil of the Children of the Endless Gate, surrounded by scrolls to an unnameable and alien god. Okay, try to read the name. You cannot read the name, for it is obscured by splatters of blood smeared with the venerating touch of countless passing cultists. Still, you're fairly certain that this is the tomb of Markaisa, whose proximity to Inifir must be what inspired this display of, you hardly dare call it devotion, but it's certainly effusive. Okay, touch the symbol. I haven't really learned anything so far. As you reach out to touch the symbol, a spark flares from it, and you feel your tattoo blazing in sympathy. The rock under the symbol evaporates as if it were transmuting itself into another dimension, revealing a large niche.
Making a note.
Within is a thing of strange dimensions and impossible angles, spun from an unearthly metal that seems to flow as you examine it. Its branching limbs cross in a lattice that holds no clear pattern. Tidal energies seep from it, and you recognize the sigil of the changing god stamped on its base. What else it might be, this is a mirror caster. We have 2 text adventures now in our inventory. But not one you can use, at least not now. Someone has twisted it out of alignment, and it would be impossible guesswork to return to its proper state. I'll take up that challenge. We have this. Yeah, we can use it. We have this. The device seems to push against the palm of your hand as if willing you to use it. Find the owner of the Mirrorcaster. I don't know why it's there, but I have a feeling I know who it belongs to. The man in the memory, the cast up behind all the horrors in the valley. Yeah, the Endless Gate guy. I'm gonna go to Phoenix and tell him about the tomb.
Yes.
Want to do something else too. Maybe not now. I want to basically just go visit a few tombs. See basically what the random tombs are. If there's anything worthwhile potentially fighting in them.
Yes. Now. Go.
It might be worthwhile to use the healing thing before heading toward the Endless Gate. That will restore health and all stats. Also, Tantalum has been asking about the... Yeah, how many tombs? How many tombs have you read? Okay, I've read 15 tombs. Great, keep searching. You're sure to find the answers you seek. I met Silver. He said he knew you. Ah, and how is that delightful creature? How has it been doing on its particular task? What is Silver? What kind of a creature? A human, I suspect, though in a strange shape. He smiles to himself. Strange shape indeed. What is he looking for? Oh, that's for him to decide, but I imagine it's not an answer he seeks, more like he's seeking himself, or itself, if you prefer. Oh, yeah, I don't get it.
If you think that's best.
I get the impression that I'm not sure if we were supposed to meet Silver where we met him. I have a hunch. I don't think there's how the fuck do I explain this? I don't think there's not necessarily encounters in specific tombs, but after visiting X amount of tombs. So it wouldn't matter if we explore what tombs we explore, as long as we explore like 10 of them, for example. Then we can encounter Silver, for example, although that probably was like tomb number 5 or something like that.
Of course.
Somehow related to this, Crystal, it's all about the same guy. Yeah, the abuse and the horror. But I'm not sure
Ready.
how to entangle this mess. Might as well go and talk with the guy again at the start of this map. I don't know if it actually helps in any way. It's worth a try.
Of course.
Someone has to be able to offer a solution to this. Although I might be able to actually solve the situation if I actually just use the item. It would be foolish not to just try that. Okay. The smear caster is made of strange dimensions and impossible angles, spawned from an unearthly metal. Okay, blah blah blah. The surface is hot and somehow restless, as if it wants to move but cannot. Soft knobs press into the soft flesh of your palm, pulsing gently, but when you turn the device over, there's nothing there. The silent voice of the mirror within sings to you, calling you to join it. So we can access it.
If you want a job done right.
I think I'll return the job for the Phoenix. Leave things there.
Of course we
We
can
have
help.
at least a
Right
couple
on?
of these mirror casters now that we need to go to, and they can be quite lengthy at times.
Yes.
We're in a fairly good
Now.
shape, so we should be able to do it. I found your marker in the Necropolis. The note contains a code to your tomb.
I'll remember that.
He takes the note from you, scrutinizing it intently. He shimmers and flickers momentarily and then exerts himself to remain material through a force of visible will. That would explain why I could not understand myself. An artificial construct in my mind. I am dead and manifest again. Have I mastered time? He takes an internal inventory. No, I am a particular shade, a remnant, an echo of what would have been. I shall fade then and hope that my lesson remains. I thank you. Knowledge is precious. Treasure yours. And now I will rest. Farewell. With a flicker of light, the yawning of a consciousness roused and returning to oblivion, he flickers away into the air. A faint hiss is the only marker of his passage. Everyone except Rin got a level up, and Rin is nowhere near level up. Right, I'll just level up and leave things there. We will get to tier 3 with the last cast off. Increase stats pools. I'm not sure if I want more intellect, although that's what I use mostly, so yeah, probably should take it. Cyber limit increase. Oh, do we need this? So Dismay is actually a tier 3 ability. I think cyber limit increase is like tier 1. Nothing interesting. So Dismay. Enemies in medium area around caster, so I can't affect my own people. Enemies in range who fail to resist gain demoralize. Negative on willpower and evasion, and attacks. Active for 3 rounds. One use per crisis. You are a thundercloud in your enemies' minds. Your presence looms in their thoughts and they fear to cross your path for fear of the outcome. It's another debuff we could stack with other things. The Cypher limit use, on the other hand, I really could use more of that. I really could, but at the same time, I don't have a lot of useful abilities, and this could be very useful. Minus 15% on all tasks seems to be something we could stack, and we can make things easier to hit too, so yeah. Cypher limit is just one extra inventory slot basically, so I'll take the Soul Dismay. 2 tier 3 abilities. These 4. Inside action. Target an ally with enemies in weapon range, then choose one of those enemies. The chosen ally makes an immediate attack on that enemy. So I could basically use our glaives for an extra attack instead of attacking myself, in exchange for 3 intellect points. That's not necessarily a bad thing, especially if I can get the double attacks again on Eridis. So potentially we could attack multiple times. Plus 2 damage on esoteric attacks, that's not bad, especially if you use items that increase esoteric attack damage. The one thing I don't like about the spells is that their basic damage is basically pitiful. So if you want to be a damage dealer caster, you need to have an equipment set and abilities to actually support that. Gain plus 5% bonus for each level of effort applied to perception. What? Plus 5% bonus for each level of effort. So instead of 20%, you'll get 25%, I guess. I give zero shits about that. So we have choice between 3 things. Gravity manipulation. You treat one of the fundamental forces of the universe as a tool. You draw enemies into your orbit or send them reeling away with the power of your mind alone. Space warping pulse that pushes or pulls all creatures in range. all in small area. Yeah. I don't. Where? How could I use this effectively? I don't know. Inside action. That relies on you having allies in the fight, though. I'll take it. We want to take more damage. Fight barrier, maybe. Your mind is an impenetrable tower of iron will, a fortress few can breach. I sort of like the idea, rather. I don't care at all about the benefits, but I like the idea. So I think I'll take a mind barrier. Because I basically want to see if there are mind affecting things, can I sort of resist them? I have nothing that would indicate that I have any kind of resistance of that type. I would think the mind barrier would be their cause if I can resist things. I don't think this is a good choice because offensive focus is always better, but whatever. I'm interested. And I do have some abilities, it's not like I took nothing out of that. Ah, you. Use more stats. Healing, Deception, Endurance, Initiative. Actually, Initiative is not bad. Spell Swoop. You can almost never get a chance to really use this. Increase Edge. Might 3 wouldn't be bad because that's most of our abilities. Almost all of our attacks, in fact. Increased Edge, so Might Edge 3. Don't really need any of these. Running wouldn't be a bad thing though. Issue Challenge. I actually would like that. It would be very hard to resist, so we could rely on that. Properly rely on that. We have 2 edge on speed, which is good enough. We could use more attributes, especially on strength, but it's not that big of a deal. On the other hand, we don't actually have that much intelligence. So it might be better, instead of focusing on this, which is probably another 15% on the accuracy of this attack, might be better off taking more intellect pool. 6 points. I don't know. Because we could just, if we take a more intellect pool, we could just spend an extra point of intellect and it would give up better bones. It's not like we have to use issue challenge every turn, so it's I think it would be better to just have an extra intellect point. Maybe even, I don't want to put edge to intellect though. Ah, crap. Right. Find the owner of the Mirrorcaster. I'll end things here. We'll dive to the 2 mirror casters on the next time. Probably
Absolutely.
deal with the endless gate thing too, depending on how long it takes to actually
On it.
complete the mirror casters. I also need to interact with this one. I got the shield that's tied to this. The Tale of the Dead Lock is in your mouth. I'm seeing the same things again. Okay. That must be the passcode for the Whisper Lock in the Necropolis, right? So that's why it's here.
Go.
There seems to be quite a lot of different solutions to our
Sure.
problems. If every combat situation too, or a crisis, is
Fine.
it's like it's not really a fight in a sense. It's a problem you need to solve, and fighting is a perfectly valid
At
reason
last.
or a method of solving it.
All right.
But almost always there's something you can use, an alternative way to deal with things. That's one of the reasons I'm very, okay. I'll actually end
On my
here.
way.
A few things here. Very interesting seeing this Neophyr thing as far as I can take it. If it is Inithir's mere caster, there's no telling what we could learn. And from all we know, they're controlled by something else. So it could be the key to everything. It has to be dealt with now.